you know, and you're like, okay, it changes. They morph, I guess, or their projection, holographic, cloaking, you know, device of some sort. Because I have videos that literally they just disappear, you know, into thin air. And the field in front of my house, I mean, there's obviously a lot going on in that field, that there's a lot of lights all the time. They're on the ground. So I believe that underground there might be something also. And my
Yeah.
children told me, like my son, my kids, when all this started, my kids, you know, they were telling me like, oh, it's our family, and like crazy things. Like my kids are very in tuned. They're what we call like, we're all, I guess we have something in our DNA, you know, all of us.
Yes.
Like me, all my life, I was different. And like when these guys started appearing to me 3 years ago, everything changed for me, you know, like it's not just it's not just one thing. It's been a very big process, you know, like I was atheist. I believed in nothing three years ago. And these planes that are stationary and following me, just, you know, like they came and woke me up, you know what I mean? They're like, you have something to do or something, you know, like they're really um very, very active around me. You know, sometimes they're in my window and they're just flashing their lights and just like, I'm like, okay, so, but I haven't gotten any conscious communication with them. You know, maybe I have some in the dream state. I believe so. I believe, you know, that there's a lot going on. So there's it's very layered. Okay, but as per my understanding, um, if it would be just monitoring or if it would be anything really negative, they wouldn't have to be so many of them. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, so there's so many of them. I believe that we are together, you know. I'm the one that incarnated, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and they're with me, but there's also the field in front of my house. There's a lot going on there. And also there's like, I have videos and pictures of like these plasma clouds that are always at the same place. So I believe that there's something going on there also about that. And I've walked in that field for hours without getting anywhere. I promise you, I've tried it like 3, 4 times, and my ex, he was looking at me and he said, I wasn't seeing you anymore. And I was seeing always the same thing. And I was like, will I ever get to the end? So it's like very multidimensional. And I'm very sensitive. So I'm not saying that it does that to everyone, you know, because the farmers, they just farm their field and they're good. They're okay. They don't see anything.
So you
So,
said that this started 3 years ago.
mhm.
So
March
what
2019.
what happened 3 years ago to change everything?
Well, 3 years ago, I was sick. You know, I was, like I said, totally asleep, not aware of nothing at all, of paranormal or whatever. And I was sick. I was on many medications and everything, and I was alone with my kids. And at a certain moment, we started seeing the craft, you know, like, and I had no idea what was going on. And I tried to research and tell people, and everybody thought I was crazy. But my kids, they were seeing it with me and they were telling me, no, it's this and that. And they were telling me crazy, crazy things. Like my son, he would tell me, Mom, you and me, we work in the crafts at night together, you know? And I'd be, what? And I'd be, okay, what do I look like? He's like, well, and he thinks, you know, he's looking in his head and he's like, well, you look like you. I'm like, okay, and how about you? And he thinks like this and he's like, Mom, I'm an adult. Like it's like, I believe it's either interdimensional, you know, like other selves, which
Yeah.
would be maybe in programs, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's literally him from the future when he's an adult coming back here to do something. Because, you know, I haven't figured it out yet, but I mean, this is really unprecedented. You know, I would have never thought in 1,000 years. And I'm not sick anymore. I've been totally healed from one day to the next. I don't have any conscious memory of this, but I did ask them, you know, like at one point, just before COVID hit, you know, I was alone with the kids. You know, I had my ex, he wasn't there at that time. He was incarcerated, so I was really alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I told them because I knew something was coming. Like before, oh, I said the sorry, but anyways, before that, okay, before the everything that stopped, I knew that something was coming. I didn't know what, and I asked them. I was like, listen, if you guys can help me with this, because I was taking medication and it was really like, um, it wasn't good, and if everything would have been closed, I wouldn't have been able to take care of my kids and everything. And I mean, from one day to the next, I was okay. So I was like, okay. So a lot of things happened. I could barely walk. I had a big accident in 2001, and I couldn't walk. That's why I was taking the medication for one part. And now, like I can run for an hour. I mean, I've been regened. Like this body here has been healed from many, many things. I was really, really like in a bad shape. So, um, to what point all this is ending up to this point, I don't know everything. I believe that since I'm a kid, I'm going through stuff. I have memories of being a child and having experiences, and my parents being like, oh, no, no, you were dreaming. I was like, no, no, I wasn't dreaming. Like seeing small, in my memory, it's like dwarves, but probably it was grays maybe, or other beings. I'm connected to, like the earth realm. Like
Yeah.
when I do, because now I do a lot of work, like energetic work and everything. I've got a lot of studies, and I've done a lot of things in 3 years. I've studied everything that I could, and it's been like quite a ride. But they really gave me like the courage to do all that. Like I was telling myself, if all these guys are there with me all the time, obviously I have something I need to understand. I need to do something. Like we're not. They must have other things to do with their time. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. Very
Mhm.
interesting. Now,
Yeah.
this field behind you,
Mhm.
do you live anywhere near an airport?
No, there's a small airport that's not too far, but I drove there and it's like closed, like there's nothing there. So it might be something, but it's like undercover, like underground or closed, or I have no
Yeah,
idea. When I passed by, I tried to feel into it. Sometimes when I'm with other people, like other experiencers and everything, my abilities are heightened,
yeah,
and now that I'm like talking about it with you guys, I can try and check.
yeah. Because you're
Like,
buzzing off it, see? You're buzzing. You, yeah,
because you see, when I look like that, I see like there's maybe something that's not permitting me to see. Because when I try it, because I'm a remote viewer now and everything, I do sessions, and I I don't channel. I never let like another energy in me, but I see a lot, and I can interface with a lot of beings, and it's I'm used to it. When I um whatever, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's not like I don't need to go in trance and everything. I just see it as I'm talking to you. Like
It's become natural.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really like an ongoing thing all the time. Like I'm always like connected through many of myselves, and I see stuff and I feel stuff and I do stuff all the time. Like, but where was I going with that? I forgot where I was going.
I do that all the time.
Yeah,
So what
because I get
um
scattered, but yeah.
so what type
I
of
mean,
would you say that you've actually seen any form of what you would call an alien?
oh, I mean, I've never seen them in front of me in 3D, but I mean, astrally, I've seen a lot. I mean, many,
Yeah.
many. Yeah, and the thing is that if you go and with our conscious mind and our earth human, to understand this, you need to like see it as quantum physics a little bit, because we're all particles. Everything is particles. And I like the example of like water, because the particles of water, you can be like in ice, it can be in vapor, and it can be in water, you know. So it's the same thing, but it's like in different densities kind of thing. So that example is good to try and understand how it is. So
It's also it's water. It's a liquid,
yeah,
but it's a
exactly.
solid object as well when it freezes,
Hmm.
and it can actually be a vapor. So, like you
Yeah.
say, yeah,
Yeah, so like in the astral realms or in the ethers, it's
mm,
very malleable. So
yeah.
sometimes they appear as something, but it's not that, so it's really like tricky. So and sometimes they really try and use your psyche and your energy to project themselves in a certain way, depending on what your fears are or whatever, because they tap into your information easily with you know
Oh
abilities,
yeah,
I guess, or
yeah,
technology. Some of them aren't, necessarily super evolved with their, you know, um, abilities. It's more technology that they use sometimes. Yeah.
Has
yeah.
any of
But
your neighbours seen
excuse me,
anything?
no. I mean, we're far from other people. I mean, no one sees nothing. It's crazy. My parents, they live here with me, and they saw the crafts for the first time like a few months ago. And
Yeah.
they were in the window, and they were like, "Oh my God, we're seeing them!" I'm like, "Oh, finally!" But I believe that it's again. Okay, these guys, they're not like negatives. They're not regressives, so they don't want to scare no one, and they don't want to have sightings necessarily with like saucers and stuff like that, and scare people, and so if you're not in the good frequency, I believe that you don't really see them as good, or you don't, perceive it the same way. Like you might see it just like as a regular plane, or, and I understand it because even with me, myself, I had to prove it to myself so many times. And in the back of my head, I was like, oh, it might be just that. And then I was like, no, no, no. Obviously it's not that. And now I don't question it anymore, of course, but it took a while, for me to really be not fighting myself, with it, with my ego, let's say, ego self that's trying to, you know, make everything just
Yeah.
basic, and we all
Well,
we all have that one.
that's a bit crazy that when you say when um, you know it's there, then all of a sudden it looks like a plane or something different.
Yeah,
Something happened to me like that during the summer, didn't it, Russ?
Oh yeah,
When I was coming from this town nearby with two friends,
yeah.
and there was something stuck in the sky, and they said, "Oh, Lynn, what's that?" I said, "Oh, so we stopped and we had a look, and it was stuck.
Yeah.
It was stuck,
And like
just
this?
like, yeah,
Yeah,
but
they did that.
it
Yeah,
had like forks, but it was just stuck in the same
yeah.
place for
I know.
about 15 minutes. Didn't move,
And nobody sees nothing. They're all
and
like
then
on
it
their
just
phones.
grew longer and
Yeah.
longer
Oh
and
yeah.
longer, and then it stuck again. If you
Okay.
remember that right, Russ,
oh
it
yeah.
stuck again. So we moved forward to another place where we could park up, and we got out and had a look. And you can hear my friend on the video because I filmed it, and she was going, "Oh, it must be you, Lynn. Everywhere you go, they're there, aren't they?" So,
Yeah, of
and we
course.
watched it, and it took a long, long time. And all of a sudden, the next minute, it was like over us, and it had gone from that big for a
Okay.
long, long time, and it just grew tall and then stuck
That's
there. The next thing, it was
yeah.
over us, and it looked like a plane, but it wasn't a plane.
Yeah,
We
I
couldn't
know.
explain what it was. The next thing we seen was we looked over into this ahead of us into a field ahead. I said, "What's that?" And this is the only part I didn't film. Oh, I'm so sorry, I never. And
Mm.
in this field, there was balls,
Yeah.
like clear balls with like a black trim in the middle. There was two of them,
Oh,
and they were intertwining, literally
oh yeah.
intertwining like that. And
Wow.
we were like, we were just gobsmacked. We couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And then, like, bam, gone.
Wow.
And that's
You s-
the only time I didn't video because I was just like, Couldn't believe it. Could not believe
Yeah,
it.
sometimes you just like,
Yeah, so when you say it sort of like turns into something else. Because I
hmm
said to you, didn't I, Russ, about that?
Oh
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
understand it because all of a sudden it was just like there.
it's holographic technology. It's like
Crackers.
they do
It's
what they want.
crackers. Yeah.
And also, they don't fly, okay? It's like they have this field around them. Even the planes and birds, I've noticed it. When I look at them, they have this like force field or ball around them. And they're creating their own magnetic field and they're like teleporting.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing. That's why they can do all these maneuvers without being affected by wind or anything, because they're literally just teleporting with their own magnetic field through, you know.
Protecting them. Yeah.
Well, it's not protecting them; it's creating its own atmosphere. I'm probably not explaining it right, but it's just like it's not that they're moving through the air. It's literally that they're changing. Let's say it would be multiple pictures, and it's like
Yeah.
it goes so fast, and it's like in the um, toroidal field that they have around them,
Yeah.
and yeah, so that's why also sometimes it can just well for mine. I'm not saying everyone is the same thing. I'm not talking about other ones. I'm just talking about the ones that I see.
Yeah.
And I'll send you videos. Lately, you can see the field around them. I thought
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was like with the wind, if it would create. And I wasn't sure at the beginning, but my daughter, she sees it. Like other people around me, they see it also. So it's really like, and it's pinkish, so
Mm.
yeah, and I've listened to videos, of people who put out more tech information and stuff like that, and like Pleiadians, which for me are more like um, the breakaway civilizations uh, outside the ice wall. You know what I mean? Like when
Yeah.
I remote view it, it's how I see it. Anyways, people say the earth is flat. It's because it's way bigger than we think. So
Yeah.
that's why there's no curve.
Yeah.
That's what I see anyway. So
Mm.
I'm not, we have all our reality and it's a hologram anyway. So
Yeah. Well, when I looked at one of your videos today, in fact, I watched a little bit of one last night,
hmm,
and I've looked at it properly today. One of them shows exactly what you were saying, where it's changing shape and
yeah,
growing.
yeah,
You can see it.
literally. And often when you see just the ball, you see them split and come back like, phew. It does like this because, and you see it really, it's like, it's kind of like Merkabas or something.
Mm.
It's like plasma
Yeah,
ships,
yeah.
or something like that. It's
Like it's
really like,
alive.
oh, yeah,
It's
yeah,
yeah, it's
for sure.
alive.
For sure. Well, all the celestials are alive for me. For
Yeah.
me, anyhow, and yeah, this morning I went out early and they're all there. And as soon as I come out, I'm like, sometimes it's like it takes you because I'm like, oh, like y'all are all there. Hello. And then they start flying and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, where's Minecraft? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
hmm
So, what would be the nearest military base?
Uh, honestly, I have no idea. I believe it would be Valcartier, which is in Quebec,
Right,
like Quebec City.
right.
It's like 4 hours from here.
4 hours away. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
about lower down in America? What is the closest place there?
Well, there's the airports, like in Montreal. But let's say I drive with my car, okay? And when I go and get my daughter, she lives up north. So I have to pass next to the airport. These guys that are flying, because it's like Top Gun, right? They're right there, right? Flying at the
Hmm.
same pace as me. I'm like, I look at there's one there, and they're like always right there. And they fly straight through the airport fly zone or whatever. And I'm telling myself either they're like in another frequency and they just don't see them, or they have clearance. Like, you know, like they're our national security, whatever, they know they're here all the time, because I don't get, like, people get sightings and then you see all the helicopters coming and people freaking out and stuff. I never get that. Like,
No.
they're here every day and I never get that. I get the helicopters with me though. Like
Yeah.
they follow me because they're probably interested or something. I have no idea why, but um
So,
Yeah, yeah.
how close do they come to you?
excuse
How
me.
how close do these craft actually come to you?
Well, I mean, when they pass over my head as planes, sometimes they're almost stopped, like right there over my head, and they're pretty low. But like they're over the treetops, let's say, they never come super close. And let's say I try and get closer to them, they keep their parameter. Like they're like on a grid, and they just keep their distances, and it's like yeah, but they're always there though. It's not like, and I've asked them many times. I've tried everything, to get them to come and talk to me, but we're not there yet, I guess.
Yeah.
And maybe, like I said, that we do have communications in, other frequencies when I'm unconscious, and I can't remote view them, like I try and I can't. Like I remote view pretty much what I want, but them I can't. So it's there's probably like a something, blocking me. Yeah.
Do you ever think that they've been in your room?
Oh, you know, um, in my room, I wake up sometimes with spots, with marks. Um, I have many, many dreams. I am not sure if it's literally this body or if it's like part of my consciousness that is, in another space or another pocket or another body. I'm not even sure if the bodies that are really real or if they're just like programs, holograms, like, but I do believe that, you know, there's still stuff going on in some kind of way that I'm not totally sure of what I'm doing.
I would put a locked off camera in your bedroom.
I sleep with my doors unlocked. I mean, I have no fear ever. I go outside all the time. I have no fear. I always call them in. I always tell them, come land, like you have room, land, come talk to me, like, yeah, it's not like that.
Yeah, I think what Lynn means is that, like you've seen them outside. I think what she's
Yeah,
meaning
I
is,
don't believe so. I do not believe they enter my space.
No.
but
No, no.
what she's meaning is that if you videoed inside,
Yeah,
you might
I
see them,
understand. I understand.
sort of like,
I understand, but like I said, like let's say, okay, in the beginning when I started having abilities and everything, like this house is an old house, and I called in the beings in the house and I lined them up, and they called their galactics so they can come and get them. So what I mean is that if there's a being, I'll see it and I'll interface with it, and if I'm sleeping, I really don't think that anything can hurt me. If I have marks on my body or anything, it's because, you know, um, I know I'm being killed on a lot of things, and I believe that it's me also in other aspects, in other, um, yeah. So I don't think that anyone's hurting me. You know what I mean? I don't think that
I don't
anyone's coming
think
in my house,
I don't think
and
you're meaning
yeah,
about being hurt. I think what
yeah,
she
but I
means is
mean,
just making contact with you.
if they would, they
Mm.
would probably come and in my conscious, I guess.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because they
But
they would have nothing to do with me sleeping, you know. unless I don't remember it. And then they wouldn't have to come in my room. I mean,
Yeah,
they can just,
yeah.
I can just go with my consciousness. So if they would come in my house when I'm sleeping, it's to do something kind of not super kosher, you know,
Yeah.
in my head, anyways. And I do believe that there did before happen stuff, you know, and not too long ago I heard like big banging in my stairs, you know, here. And I went right away and I went outside and I was like, you know, I always go right away. And I tell my kids too, if you're scared of anything, just go and go talk to it, go straight ahead, because if you're scared, it's gonna be so happy that you're scared, like
Yeah.
you know.
It'll eat you
Yeah.
where you've got to face it head on,
Yeah,
isn't
because
it?
if that's
Yeah.
what it wants, you know, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, cool, I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah.
So
So that's a little bit like having a poltergeist in your house.
I think it's an interdimensional that came in. Like I felt like kind of Bigfoot or something like that, but I know they're around me. You know, I know there's a lot of fairies and stuff like that. You know, like there's stuff disappearing and reappearing, and I give them presents also. Like I'm very connected to them, and you know, I like to have the elementals and everything on my side, and you know, we're
Yeah, yeah.
connected. So um like one time I almost fell, and I said to myself in my head, oh my god, I am falling. Like my knees dropped, and all of a sudden I was like back on my feet. And you know, like so somebody, something just put me back there. I didn't feel anything, but I mean, I don't feel ever bad vibrations, you know. So I really believe that um you know, it's we need to understand that we're powerful. It's just as much as any other being, you
Yeah.
know.
Have you lost time at all?
Oh, many times when I was younger and I was unaware, and I was so freaking out because I thought, because I was partying also, you know, I was younger.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I was like freaking out because I didn't know where my car was. I didn't know how much time I was there. I was like, oh my God, what kind of a mess am I? And then waking up, I understood that it wasn't that. It was like super easy to, you know, and also like not anymore. Like more in the beginning of my awakening, I would be driving, and then all of a sudden I would be like, okay, like where am I? What highway am I on? Which side of the highway? Like, so that would happen. And time dilation, like as in, let's say I'm listening to music, and the
Yeah.
song really goes slow, and then starts going back faster. And yeah.
Remembering Cardigan when I told you about Cardigan, Russ?
Yeah, yeah. About
Yeah.
being in
You've just described
slow
something
motion.
to me there.
Yeah, that's time travel that does that. Because, well, I mean, I have no proof, of course, you know, but as per many people who are MK Ultra and stuff like that, that's, you know, I can send you the video where I got the information, and you'll understand why I say it so, uh, you know, freely, because I really believe that when he said that, the guy was like, oh my God, really? Are you serious? Because it would happen a lot. You know, I would listen to music and I'm like, what? And it's like also because we're vibrating faster. You know,
Yeah.
we're like, and everything's like, woo, because we're tapping into the 5D and our other aspects. You know,
Yeah.
we're the ones bringing it in actually to this realm with our energy and our, that's why I connect a lot with the mushrooms and the fungi.
Yeah.
These fungi are crazy. You heard what they did with the Chinese subway thing? They
No.
reorganized the Chinese fungi, okay, like
Right.
little mushroom things. You know what fungi is?
I
It
do.
reorganized the Chinese subway system in like, I don't know how much time to find its food, kind of thing. So it's super linked to all the connections, and that's the internet of the earth. It's like all these little beings that, you know, it's we're all connected, and I
Yeah.
see it in my head like
Yeah.
through everything. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah, I feel it through plants and trees
Exactly.
and through the floor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The roots, and after
Yeah.
the roots, the mushrooms, and
Yeah.
it's the earth, and it goes everywhere. And that way you can reach all the trees, and they can reach all the humans. You know,
That's
like
it. Yeah.
It's there that you need to send it for it to, I'm having crazy chills, for it to propagate. Yeah, but it's true. It's
true,
like
yeah.
a good virus kind of thing, because when you bring in these because people say, oh, I got light codes or I got a download or whatever, because light photons is really information. Like in DNA, you can store bits of information, literally. Okay, so we're like conductors, we're
Yeah.
antennas. So if you can reach to your highest point, to your source, and bring this back into you and throw it back into the earth, through the ley lines or through everything that you can perceive. Anything is good, just as long as you do it, And us, the people that are contactees or, that are different, have abilities, whatever, we're big channeling we're big conductors, of outside energy and inside energy. Sorry.
Yeah.
I get to stuttering a little bit when I'm yeah, so
So do you class yourself as a contactee?
yeah, of course.
Right.
Of course. Yeah. I do see them in my mind, like I don't have conversation like, hi, how you doing? And blah, 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 like some people, because they really, I have no idea, honestly. I guess they channel in a way that I can't, but I do get a lot of images, and I get knowings, like information that I understand. Like, let's say you
Yeah.
go and you see your trash and you're telling yourself, oh, I'm going to bring my trash. Well, you're not going to say, I will bring my trash in your head. You know this. It's like a thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're telling this to yourself, let's say. Do you understand,
Yeah, I do.
Russ, what I'm saying?
Bring what did you say?
Okay,
Bring.
let's say you, Russ, you're in your kitchen, okay? Just a normal day. And you look at your trash and you tell yourself, "Oh, I have to bring my trash outside."
All
Okay?
right.
You
Yeah.
say this to yourself. You're not
Right.
going to say it to yourself with all the words. You know what I mean? You're not going to tell yourself with words, "Oh, I have to bring my trash outside." Talking to yourself. You're going to just know this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's telepathic.
Yeah.
Some people expect, or I was maybe expecting more like a talking kind of thing, but it's not. What I'm getting is not that. When I connect to, and it's always through my other aspects of self, I try not to scatter my interactions too much,
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a lot of stuff, So
I can
it's pretty
understand
amazing.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. Let's just if because I forgot to put this up on Facebook earlier.
Okay, sure.
Um, but let's just put uh, uh, just some clips of videos up,
Hmm.
but so people might see them if they're on Facebook.
Sure.
Just just bear with us a minute.
No problem. So, it's been like a long, well, 3 years process, but my parents, like the people around me, they're just coming around now. Like I've been through a lot. Like let's say we would have been in the 1400s, they would have burned me on a tree.
Yeah, my day as well.
I know, and I tell them it's a good thing, you guys, because you'd be around that tree right now and looking at me. Oh, maybe we shouldn't have burnt her, like because now they're seeing it also,
Yeah.
and they look at me, they're like, so I
Can I
don't.
put a clip up of yours
Of
now
course, of
for
course.
us to
I'm about
see?
to
Oh,
leave now,
there we go.
and I got two right there, like they're
so
waiting.
where is this, Priscilla?
For That's right in front of my house. Go
Right.
to the store. Like I'm about to leave my driveway. I suppose, because that's where I'm going. And they just wait for me. Oh. Hey guys. That's like that come last talk to me. You know. There's a
How
thing
long
that
will they hang around, Priscilla?
oh,
How
they'll
long?
hang around forever. If I pay attention to them, they'll just
Yeah.
stay with me always. Like sometimes there's nothing, and if I look, if I they know where I believe that they kind of see through my eyes, you know,
Yeah.
because when I look at the
That is
sky,
odd.
excuse
That
me?
is very strange because I wrote a book and a film, and I changed the title later on,
Okay.
but it was originally called "Through the Eyes of
Yeah.
an Alien Once a Human."
Yeah, because
And
I believe it's us, on a certain level.
mm, yeah,
You
right.
know.
Let me just have a look for another video because people like to see. Let's have a look at this one.
Oh, this is the one I want to show you. Can I get hold of that? Can I?
You see how they split? Yeah.
Right, I'm going to take this in slow motion. Can you see it changing shape there?
Oh yeah.
Can you see how it's gone from, see that?
Yeah,
Changed colors, it changed
It does go
shapes.
pink,
It's
green.
really like pulsating.
Look at that. See, it sort of like stepped up, didn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah, they sometimes they do that. They just disappear and pop like somewhere a little bit further. They make me laugh.
But there's a part on here in a minute that struck me.
Yeah.
See
Oh,
that?
yeah, they stretch and they pull back in. It's like plasma fields, literally. And you see around it the black,
Yeah.
Mm.
what it does. It's like kind of wormholes, like they're popping into
Yeah.
frequency. They
Look
have
at that.
fields around them
Now
that
when we get to 30 and 31 seconds,
no
I
problem.
need you to look at the sky in front of it.
Okay.
Right?
I see the vortex, they always shoot like a vortex pink energy towards me.
Right, here we go. Watch the sky.
Oh, the sky lights up that night. Yeah, I remember there was like thunderstorms, I believe.
Oh, it's not showing on this.
But I know what you're saying. It lights up like for a second.
No, there was something else on it.
Do you
Oh,
see that
really?
fly past then?
That
Was that a rock?
flash. There was a
Oh,
flash. Yeah, watch this.
yeah.
The flash is to the left.
That you see
That,
that?
Yeah,
like a
Yeah,
that might
rock.
be a
pulsation
bug,
there,
maybe.
pulse there.
Yeah, with a rod.
To the left side of that white van, right?
Oh, okay. I understand
Watch
now.
it again.
Sorry.
Watch this. See that?
Yeah.
So where the van is, you've got the two red lights at the back of the van.
Mm-hmm.
Next to the van on the left, you've got another red light. And
Yep.
then there's one in the middle. Can you see
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So if I take that back again.
Yeah. They do. I do feel them a lot around me sometimes, like in projecting only their energy. And like
Yeah.
I
Well,
said, I have the elementals, kind of fairy and how do you call them, Bigfoot, but it's not really Bigfoot, it's more like the leaf people. And I have pictures, I'll send you. I have a lot of them that we can see them super well in the trees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're like, how they cloak. It's a little bit like in the movie The Predator with
mm.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, how he
Oh
would
yeah.
cloak, well, they're kind of like that. So they're right there, but you can't really see them. Yeah.
If you go back there, what happens is it looks like a rod comes down, and then as it's come down on the left hand side, then you get the flash. But
Yeah.
I noticed something else as well. It looks like something else turns up
I have a video that you really see like a beam of light, literally a straight beam of light, like over the houses over there. I'll try and
Yeah,
find
I've
it. I
just
have
seen it then.
I've
so
got that
many
here.
videos.
You've just
I
gone
should,
past it, yeah.
yeah.
There.
You see the
Oh,
you see the
yeah.
rock?
That?
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
you
Yeah,
yeah.
see that?
looks
Right.
Yeah.
like a
So
rock.
it flashes right up. So if I show that again. In slow motion. 1 second it's there, then it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's
No,
gone
I do see
forwards.
it
It's not going
when you pass
backwards,
it.
this. It's not going backwards.
But there's a lot. I believe that with our
There it
camera,
is.
Oh, see that?
Yeah.
when we
And
film,
then that other light turns up at the side of the car then after that.
yeah, yeah.
Straight
It's
after.
like, yeah.
There.
Like our
Yeah.
devices, they're like extensions of us also. So what we perceive, we catch easier with our camera, you know, than another person. Let's say it's not everybody that catches the same thing. It's the person that's holding it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's like an extension of you, these devices, these digital cameras.
There.
Yeah, there it is.
See it?
You can see the
Yeah.
street.
Can you see that?
Yeah, yeah. You can see the streak.
Literally split less than a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then down there now, you'll get the flash by the car.
Yeah. I get a lot of stuff on my camera. That's crazy. I have one that it's like literally a round one.
Yeah.
I'll have to
Yeah.
send it to you guys.
How
Plus, if you have a
interesting,
look,
huh? That's
if you have
very
a look,
good.
We
Very
it
should
looks
good.
like
like
sometimes I'm like I should get people with gear and come here. Who do I call? Ghostbusters, you know, like there's so much activity here. It's
they're
crazy, you
too busy
know.
going to other places on television where there's nothing turning up.
It's right, and they're like
Yeah.
waiting for something. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
damn. Mm. So it's pretty
Right.
amazing. I really feel that eventually I'll be able to interface with them, you know, in a better way. I guess I'm being, you know, prepared for it. I believe that's also a frequency thing, you know, that I have to bring my frequency high enough.
Have you just turned another one on, Lynn? Yeah.
That
Yeah.
one's good. There are a lot.
This is really interesting. Look at this.
I laugh because there's so many. I'm like, what are you doing?
And then you've
There's
got
another
one
one on
up
the
here.
top.
One
Yeah,
comes in there.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know whether
as
that's a
soon as I pay
plane.
attention, they just
Yeah, I
pop
don't
in.
know
Boom,
whether
boom,
it's a
boom.
plane or what that. I don't know. I'm not unsure about that one. But there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And then which other one was it? Did I see that one? Did we see that one?
Yeah. Hiding
This
in the
is the one that's
trees.
morphing as well. This morphs.
Yeah. They all do, really. I have some that I took with the Nikon that you
And
can see different, you know, than the, you know, the pixelization. You get
Yeah.
it different. Yeah.
Hi, Anne.
Hello.
There.
Oh, don't be scared.
well, yeah. I mean, some people.
I was never scared with them. I mean, I never got the feeling of being scared. I mean, sometimes, but even with my ex, we were looking at them and we'd be like, "Oh my God, like this feeling is amazing." You know, like
Yeah.
they're so loving, you know, and they're all there and like, "What?" You know, like I don't know. It's you know.
That's ace. That. Because some of the stuff that you shared with Russ for me to have a look, some of it's not coming through. It's not
Oh,
allowing us to open it up. So if you could
oh,
save
really?
some of it in another format, I don't know, it might come through. But I
It's
think that one at the
difficult
back of
with
your house is amazing with that big streak. Look
yeah,
at that.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
The
a variation there. There's a lot of different things going on, which is very good.
Mm.
it's easier to share the videos when I post them. Like, let's say I post it on YouTube and then I share the
Yeah, yeah.
video that way.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
unless we need to have like a certain specific like Dropbox or something, and you have to pay to send big videos, it's really not convenient. Because with the
yeah.
emails, I can't send
If you
more than 25.
use Google, what
Oh,
do you
Google
call
Drive, maybe. I
Google
could
Drive? Yeah,
try.
that is one of the best. Otherwise, there's
Okay.
a lot
Thank
of
you.
companies
I'll
now
try. Okay.
just charging,
Mm.
and that is what it's about, really.
Yeah.
So what's the name of your
Sorry.
site, Priscilla?
Well, I don't have a website. I have a YouTube channel. It's on my name, Priscilla
Oh,
Lapierre.
right, okay.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, I have young children and everything, so it's like a multitasking thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, you have to put
Yeah,
everything round, don't you? Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Fit everything in.
Hmm.
Yeah, so once everybody sees this, I hope you all go
Yeah,
on to Priscilla's site and have a
yeah.
look on YouTube because I'm
I
sure
guess
you'll
if you
find it
write just,
interested.
you know,
Yeah,
my name, you'll find it, or maybe we can share the link. I don't know how
So,
I can do that. So.
how long have you lived there, Priscilla?
Oh, this is a house that my parents own since I'm 13. So now I'm 41. So it's been a while,
yeah.
you know, almost
And
30 years.
did anything? Was there anything that happened when you was younger around
Yeah,
the house?
yeah, when I was younger, I would have paranormal things like ghosts and stuff like that, and knocking, but only with me. And my parents would really like say, "Oh, you're crazy," or blah blah blah. So, and getting a little bit older, I really shut off. Like I didn't believe in it anymore, so I wasn't seeing it or experiencing it, in the same way. But as a child, like I said, I have this memory where there's this little, oh, that's where I was going earlier, with this little gnome kind of guy, and he's kind of greenish. And I wake up and I sit in my bed and I see it. And it's kind of surprised to see that I see it. And it's walking into my closet and looks at me and it's like, shh. And I'm like, okay. And even then, I was like, okay. And even I was like maybe 5 or 6. I wasn't scared. I was like, okay, I won't say a thing. And I went to see my parents, and my parents were like, oh, you're dreaming. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. you know? And yeah, all my life before I was awake, though, I would joke and say, oh, I'm a witch, because I would know things and I would feel things, but I was just joking about it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But joke became kind of more than I would have ever thought real. So this is quite unprecedented what we're going through in these times.
Did
So,
you have many friends,
My
Priscilla?
cat, she's like, she wants me. She's like, pet me now. Yeah, she's like, you know how cats are, right? Like they
Yeah,
want
yeah.
something or they don't want it.
Right. Did you have many friends stay around when you were younger?
Yeah. Yeah, my friends, two of my friends actually, they would, get scared and stuff. They'd be like, "Oh, I'm blow drying my hair and something keeps knocking." I would be like, "Oh, okay." Or we would be like sitting downstairs and I have a pool table, to play pool. And the
Yeah.
balls would be like tuk, 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 just like that, and we'd be like, "Okay, let's go upstairs," But yeah, stuff like that. And what happened also? Oh yeah, we had like two dogs, okay, and they were both on their chain. And our house is like 250 feet from the road, and we have like 7 acres, so there's no people. And the dogs would bark anyway. So the dogs are barking actually, and so we look, and like one dog is loose, like freed, and the other dog is tied with both chains. But it's like, you know, these locks that you have to pull to
Yeah,
take it, and then you let it go. So it can't just clip like that.
yeah,
So maybe they did it by, but they barely touched. You know, like one dog would couldn't move. He was like with both ones because they could touch a little bit, you know, the chains, and the other one was just loose. So that was kind of weird. Yeah.
I was going to say, how old's the house? When was it
Oh,
built?
this house is when we renovated, we found because they used to isolate with newspaper back in the day, and we found newspaper of 1806.
Wow.
Yeah, and what I wanted to say also about my son is that my son, okay, he's like he channels information sometimes, and after he doesn't remember. Like I talked to him about it, and he's like, "No, I didn't say that." And if my daughter wouldn't be there to tell him that both of us were there, and yeah, you said that, he
Yeah.
wouldn't. And he's 8, okay? So he comes to me and he's like, "Mom, God, well, not God, but you know what I mean." And he tells me that like that, you know, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I know what you mean." He's like, "He told me to tell you that there's an underground base here, and there's like a trap door, like a trap, you know, like a portal, or
Yeah.
like he put it." And he said, "But we can't see it, but it's here." And he wanted me to tell you. And I was like, "Okay, thank you." And then I was like, and then I asked him, I'm like, "Where is it? Do you know where it is?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "You told me," and blah, blah. And he's like, "No." I'm like, "Yeah."
Priscilla, you need to go out, right,
Yeah.
with some divining rods.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, go out with some divining rods along the
But you know what I
fields.
think? I think it's in the house. Because there's a place, I will show, I'll make a video for you to show you
Okay,
downstairs.
okay.
There's like this archway that's in red brick, okay, that is part of the old uh base foundation, like
Yeah,
in concrete. Is that how you say it in
yeah,
English? Yeah. So, and when you walk through that archway, there's two other archways, okay? And in the last one, when you step into that room, I guess,
yeah.
you know,
The area,
space,
yeah.
oh, the frequency shifts right there. It's like, you
Wow.
know, and like I'm like, someday I will need to take time and go sit there and, you know, feel into it and everything. But I feel that maybe it would have to do with maybe someplace in the house,
Do
as my
you
son was saying it.
think where that room is,
Mm,
the last room where you're
hmm.
getting that really big feeling from,
Yeah,
right? Is it concrete walls?
it's brick walls, red brick
Brick
walls. Yeah, so it's
walls.
kind of creepy. So that's why I'm saying someday I will, you know, it's I don't get any creepy feelings, but I
Yeah.
do feel that if I would go there and, you know, for sure I would get something maybe, you know, and
Is there a stream underneath the house?
well, we have a stream right behind the house, and
Right.
the energy there is crazy. Like
Yeah.
I did some videos there that you have like all kinds of, sorry, all kinds of, you know, things going on in there.
Do
And
you think there's a tunnel behind the brick wall?
it's not like that. It's
No,
more like an interdimensional thing
inside.
where the
Yeah,
frequencies can merge.
yeah,
It's like with us. The DNA of the earth there is like potent for a potential merging of the realms
yeah.
kind
I
of
know what you
thing.
mean. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
really that. And I guess that it has to do with the here it's sacred land, you know, like I feel it when I'm outside, you know, there's
yeah.
moss and it's really like, you know, this place is beautiful.
Ancient.
So
It's
yeah, yeah,
ancient.
yeah, yeah. My dad, he wanted to sell it. He had signed a contract with the city here, and I swear I cried so much for the trees, and I didn't tell my dad, you know, I didn't tell no one. I was just crying for my trees. I couldn't even look at them. I was like, oh my God, because they were gonna pull them out and everything. And I swear it got canceled. Yeah, the guy who was taking care of that project, he didn't do his job properly, and it got canceled. I was
Good.
like,
That's good.
yeah, yeah, but you know, it's like it's not for nothing, you know. It's
Oh, you can't kill the trees now.
well. maybe I helped, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I
Do
think.
you think that there's any what you would call native tradition around that area where you live?
Oh, for sure. For sure, because me, I have some native blood, and I have Irish blood. So
Right.
it's like, these peoples, they're from, the ancient peoples.
Yeah,
So
like me.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And this place, it's near the many reservations of you know, the
Yeah.
Indians. And also, I've had visions that were pretty intense, and I had to look up on internet because I had no idea what I had seen. And I saw Quetzalcoatl, like the winged um, serpent being kind of thing, kind of exploded with this rainbow little seahorses everywhere. And no, I wasn't on psychedelics. I was, like, oh my God, what's that? And then the next morning I hear in my head Quetzalcoatl. So I'm like, what's that? And I go and see it. And when I saw this thing, I was like, oh my God, that's what I saw yesterday, like in my mind and everything. And
Yeah.
I was like, you can't make this shit up.
No. No,
No.
no.
So I believe that, yeah, it's rooted into uh purposefully, everything is coming into its right position to,
It's aligning itself ready for
yeah, yeah, yeah,
something, isn't it?
everything is, yeah.
Do
It's
you
it's
get
not as
them?
fast as we would want to, though.
Yeah.
Do you get the craft around you when you're going out? You know, like if you go to the city or
Oh
town,
yeah, all the time.
right?
But they always look like planes at that point. It's planes following me, but I can get like five different kinds of planes following me at the same time. Like one super high in the sky that make these trails, but that disappear,
Yeah,
and then one jet, and then one plane, normal plane, and then on the other side there's this other kind of whatever plane follows. So they're just like appearing like miscellaneous, but they're all with me. So, and if I like, especially when it started in the beginning, my kids were young, so I would go, like, let's say, to McDonald's and stay there for like 2 hours, and God knows how that's crazy. Go change a diaper and then go there, and I was like, oh my God, and then what are you doing there? Like, don't you have anything to do with your time? Watching me struggle in McDonald's with my kids, like, it was super super weird.
yeah,
So, and that's what gave me the knowing that I wasn't this crazy person that had no meaning, because that's what I thought before they came into my life. Because, I'm different. So for everybody else around me, I'm like a marginal, I'm like I don't see things like everybody else. So
Yeah.
for everybody in my family, I was like not doing things correctly. So then
Almost
when
like
all
the
these,
black sheep, but without being
yeah,
the
yeah,
black
for
sheep.
sure.
Yeah.
And we're put in these families, I think, it's like so multi-layered,
Mm.
before we get our power back, we kind of lose our power. And it's like the controllers, the ones that, I do believe that maybe not now so much, but when I was born and everything, the souls were put in places, that weren't all what we decided. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because all my life, my parents, I know they kind of love me, but I know they're kind of not my parents. Like, who are these people? I'm not part of that family. Like, they've always been like different with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So not super nice, like with me for nothing, and then they're kind of nice. So it's like they get overridden, or by certain programs, frequencies that they're not aware of.
Yeah.
And then they act a certain way, and they're like, why did I act so bitchy? I have no idea. And it's just
Yeah.
because they're easily usable for that. So
I can understand that.
yeah, because we're big energies, and they know before we do.
I always thought I was adopted.
Yeah, me too. I was like, you just find me on the street. Tell it. You can tell me if you found me somewhere. And I'm blonde with blue eyes, and both my parents have black hair. And my mom has blue eyes, but my dad, he has brown eyes. So usually it's, my brother has brown eyes. And
Yeah.
my other sister, she has black hair and brown eyes. And and I'm
The
like now I
oddball
don't look
out.
super blonde because of the bleach,
Yeah.
so it's a big difference, but I'm not super, you know, I'm not, so I always thought, where did you get me? Mm.
Yeah, there is a school of thought if you listen to what some people believe is that it's called star seeds, and you're actually
Oh, of course.
from aliens. I don't
Of
believe that
course.
personally.
Oh,
I
no?
only talk about things that I know factual about being abducted and but
Yeah, I know. Yeah, of course, we all talk about our own things,
yeah.
but I do believe that I'm not from here. Like, this is not my home at all. I am not from around here. All my life, I was like looking at this place. I was like, oh my God, what are these people doing? What is this place? This is not okay. This is not right. Like, these people are not my people, like, what the hell? And, um, our DNA that they say that is junk DNA, I believe is part of our DNA that hasn't been activated yet, or is being activated slowly with the abilities coming back online. Um, we're all ETs, all of us, I think. Maybe some humans are more than others, like
Mm.
part of programs, but I know that I have uh, people out there that believe that I'm part of them, like they feel like my family, they really love me, like they are there, and um I'm either their project, you know what I mean? Like they invested money or time, or, I'm their experience kind of thing. Or I'm their kind of family because they put their DNA in me, to see, because all of this is, if you look on a higher level, we're like immortal beings experiencing ourselves in all kinds of ways, and if you tap into the higher aspects of yourselves, our ethics are very different. Like when you're immortal and you've been there forever, you're like, okay, so what do we do now? You know, like, and I believe that forgetting and coming here is quite something that we have created, and maybe got ourselves caught up by our different fractals that have made fractals, and we're like, woo, this is crazy. Like it's a very complicated, much more than our human can even perceive. I can kind of perceive it in like strands, like in my head, but yeah.
Fascinating. It's fascinating.
So do you think that they've come for a special reason to you?
Yeah, of course. Well, to for participation into what's happening right now on the earth, it's like, how to explain, also, everything that's happening here, it's like duality, so as much as things are crazy on one side and bad, well, things are amazing and metaphysical and expanding on the other side, so it's like I just said, I believe that if we're all part of this holographic creation, which is multi-layered, within frequency, within capacity. Okay, let's see. If you see it like a video game, let's say it's a video game, and some of us are on one level, and once you pass a level, which would be, let's say, fourth density, well, then you get more gear, you get more passageways, you get more codes to bypass some monster or whatever, I'm just saying stuff like that, but
Yeah.
it's like that. You have other um things that you can do, and thing is that you're like overlaid on the other one too. So you're like still in the same map, but you have other things that the other ones don't see necessarily through their screen. if that makes any sense. You know, we have multiple screens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know what you're saying. It's like the whole issue is that if these things are here for certain people, what is the game plan? What is the end game?
Um, I believe that it's impossible to know the future because there are so many possibilities that are splitting themselves up with every decision that every human is making. But if you look at it from zoomed out with our streams, because let's say the higher players, they have more than one human here, you know, like your higher self, let's
Yeah.
say, okay, is connected to more than one person. So it's not just your higher self, it would be the higher self of a group, let's say.
Mm.
So as these people align with their thoughts and what they think, it creates a reality for the masses. Okay, so let's put it like that. So it's very hard to tell right now because people are waking up because we're affecting other humans. And then the perspective changes, it can change super fast, you know? And there's the other people that don't want us to wake up at all. And they're doing stuff to put our attention somewhere else so that we don't wake up, you know, and that we don't see the things and that we're, because you are the creator of this realm. Like quantum physics tells you that there's nothing. There's nothing. All this is particles. So it's information streaming through your computer here, which is your body. It's biotech. It's biotechnology that's
Yeah.
reading information through your brain, nervous system, and your back, you know, and projecting it through your eyes and your
Yeah.
brain and everything. It's like it's hard to understand, but it's that. So when you put your attention on something and that you feed your energy or emotion into it, it's creating it, you know? Like it puts juice into that movie if you want. There's many producers that are trying to stream their movie into your head. So
Yeah.
you create it. So it's gonna be, I have no idea, you know. Hopefully we can tap into more of our abilities and change this place in a way that we can show others what's possible. I'll give you a super good example, okay? My children. My children that remember their other lives, their bodies. Like my son, he would say, my other body before it was better. This one's heavy. You know, he would tell me, this one's heavy. I can't fly with it. Like I preferred my other body. So, and they would tell me like, why do I have to wait for something? I'm like, okay, like before in your other life, you would think of something and then it would be there, right? He's like, yeah, yeah. I'm like, it's not like that here. You can't just think of something and it's there. You have to wait. And I had to explain that to him because in his head particles matter, he can create it with his mind, you know, like that's what it means to be masters of light, you know, like the new age has these words that people don't understand what it means, but it's that it's physics, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy times.
It is. You're right. You're right there.
Yeah, because if we can get that information and physically use it, others, it's like the 100th monkey. Others are going to be able to do it too. And then it's going to be game over. We will rock the house. We'll do what we want, you know?
Yeah.
And I believe also, like Spider-Man, like great power comes with great responsibility. So if you want to be doing it without creating bad karma or taking it from other people, it's like a certain way. So it's, you know, there's a lot of things going on. Some people doing it the wrong way too. And they're powerful too because they have all these other people's energy to do what they want.
Yeah.
So, and we're not doing that. So,
So would you say that since all this has happened to you, you know, like you've been filming,
yeah,
have you had anything what you would call a gift given?
yeah, of course. All that I'm saying, you know, like
What like?
my ability to see, you know, interface in my head, in my mind, with other people's, lineage, or interface with trees. I mean, it's crazy, it's not like they're talking to me, but it's like, let's say I look at one, he's gonna pump up, like he's gonna show me his like his aura, or it's
Yeah.
literally they pump up, like they activate, like these old video games. I refer all often to the video games because I don't have other examples, but these old video games that once you walked into a certain place, like the image around you would activate, and now you can interface with that room, like or in because it wasn't active in the game until you looked at it really.
Ah.
So I believe that yeah, it's actually, the trees are one of the first that showed me. I was like, man, I'm telling you, when I look at the tree, it's talking to me. It's like shaking and doing stuff. I can feel it.
Yeah,
And
you can feel it.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, for
definitely.
sure. For sure. And like, I mean, the healing that happened, people that I love, I can heal them, like not heal them, but I can ease their pain. I can help them with migraines, and but it's really also with the other person. It's always co-creation. So if the other person doesn't believe it, like these people, which with who it really works, they love me and they know that I can help them in their heads, like they
Yeah.
really believe it. So as soon as I go to them and I put my etheric hands on them, like I see the energy, let's say, shooting out of the head for the migraines, or sometimes I see some kind of thing that's holding their head tight, or some wiring, or it depends, it's etheric. So it's really, like I said in the beginning, it's malleable in these realms, so you can create whatever you want. And once you know how it works, you can uncreate and recreate whatever you want also. So
Mm.
once you understand how it works, they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can't do anything, because once they're in your field, you do what you want with them. And once you know that, oh, you can make them dance, the beings. It's funny, but I don't
Yeah.
do that because I'm not mean or anything. But some people who do like regressive hypnosis, they literally have fun with them and stuff. So it's not, something that I do, but you can if you want,
Yeah.
you know.
So do you think that you can have actual contact with these things?
Mhm. I will tell you one thing. I do believe that the ones that are close, they're not different than us. I believe they're humans. They're
They're
like
humans.
they're humans. Oh yeah, they are. I do see them a little bit, like, and I can spot them. And when they, they're humans. They're humanoids. They might be what people would call Pleiadians, you know, the beautiful beings that are kind of perfect, well, it's breakaway civilizations that I believe that they are. Like some some of the breakaway civilizations are negatives, but some are positive also. And there's a lot of projects that we're not super aware of. And there's, as we are awakening, they are also. Okay? Like let's say the Draco, okay? The Draconians. When I tap into them, I always shoot through their hearts, to connect their hearts with their brain, and I try and create heart brain symbiosis in them. So they awaken also, and they understand what they're doing. So we all evolve as beings in this space, because I mean, we're all creations of this place. So if we're gonna want to try and do something with anything, we have to try and collaborate. Even though, like, the people say that the Greys, they try and get our DNA to get back what they lost, So I just shoot at them like crazy, golden, 0 point creative energy. I'm like, yo, this is unlimited, so you don't have to do that way. I'm trying to, show them. So, I mean, is it working? I hope. I know that with the Dracos it is though, because I do get, good feedback from them. But
From
yeah.
Dracos? You get good feedback from Dracos?
Yeah, well, I don't interface with them like talking and stuff, but
Not surprised.
you know, yeah. And I when we're like like more in private, I'll tell you stuff. You're gonna laugh. They're just beings like us.
Not the ones that I've met, they're not.
Yeah, well, you know, it depends on what faction, because there's, you know, it's like us. It's like, you know,
Well,
there's
I've met
humans that are
many
really
factions
bad,
of Dracos.
and yeah, and some humans that are good, and it's the same with them. Hmm.
Yeah.
The really bad ones, I don't get them. Well, maybe I did before when I was not awake, but not anymore. I never get bad beings around me, so I can't tell you what,
No.
you know. They're never disrespectful with me. The archangels, any of them, they're all super nice, you know. So it's like, yeah,
Right, we've got to 27 minutes past. So for the next few minutes, then we'll round it up
yeah.
and basically, if you want to tell people where they can contact you,
Yeah, sure. They can contact me by email at maybe I could is there a way that I can share a link or
oh, now then,
not?
I ain't got that far yet.
Hold
Okay.
on. Hold on. What's
Well,
the?
on my YouTube channel, which you
Yeah,
just have to search Priscilla,
Yeah.
like my name is written. I don't know if people see it. Priscilla.
right,
Lapierre. So it's in French. Lapierre on YouTube. When you go on my channel, if you go on my information, you know, at the end, there's my information for my email there.
right.
Okay. What is your email address? Would you like to tell me because I can put it up?
Well, it's Avian, Avian, because
Yeah.
I'm French speaking. Sometimes spelling is not Catherine, like the name Catherine,
Yeah.
Catherine. Yeah,
Yeah.
Catherine. Okay, 941 at gmail.com. So
Right.
Avian Catherine 941.
I shall put that up.
Thank you.
I'll put that
Yeah.
up for you, and people can contact you if they need to speak
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, and you know, I go with people with what they can give me, you know. I take donations and sometimes I just do it for free because some people just need, you know, help and stuff. I try and size people because some people they just keep wanting you to help them all the time, you know, because I'm kind of very loving and caring and everything. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm very open to helping as much as I can in the best way I can, everyone.
It's been fascinating, absolutely fascinating. I'd love to listen to you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Very interested.
Oh,
You've
thank you
um,
you've
so
hit
much.
on a few things which has hit home with me there, which is good.
Hmm.
Your videos are amazing. You'll have to send some over
Yeah, I
to me,
will.
Priscilla, because
I
it's
will.
make friends, and
Yeah.
you'll have to send some pictures over, and I can really have a good look at them then.
Yeah, and I obviously need people to help me put this out because I have so many and I don't
yeah,
share it enough.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
sounds good. Right then,
Thank
Priscilla,
you.
I'll say thanks again for
Yeah.
coming on the show. It's
Hmm.
been great and watched some amazing footage tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll say good night
Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
and
Namaste.
God bless for now. And chat later.
Yes, thank
Bye
you. Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye for
Nice to
now.
meet you.
Right, right. So, just let's